There was no way that Niall McKenna could escape the football bug, even if he had wanted to. With uncles in the persons of Jimmy Pat and Eddie Sherry, there was only one road which Niall could take. But he has no regrets. With his encyclopedic knowledge, Niall will bring us to the present day, 2009. Niall, you captained the seniors, I think about 93 of that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was captain in 93, and the previous year we won it also. Jared McGurk would have been captain, and he was, from memory, he was man of the match maybe 2 out of the 3 games.
Who was that again now?
That was against Castleblaney.
And that was 92?
Yeah, that was 92.
And 93 then?
And 93 I was the captain. We won the double that year.
And I suppose it would be fair to say, Niall, that after that we hit on what you'd call the lean years.
Yeah, you know, we wouldn't have been successful on the playing field, but, you know, there was other elements of the club at that time were very successful. You know, if you talk about maybe the facilities that they were developing in Kilmore, the big ball at the road and that, you know, and that part of the club was successful at that time.
Just when you're talking about the ball at the road, it was the other day, I think I heard that it was Niall McCaig painted the ball.
Niall was, yeah. And at that time also, you know, we were probably a club that it has never happened to any other club in Ireland, that the fact that we had a president of the GAA and we had Pádraig Duffy, you know, he was the Director General of the Association, you know, and from the one club to have them 2 people in that space of time, I don't think it'll be probably a quiz question in years to come.
No, I've heard that. In fact, I remember that being discussed by Neil O'Murphy. He mentioned that.
Yeah.
I think there's no other club in the country can boast of that. You know?
Right.
Now, just when you're on about Pádraig Duffy there, because I know that he hasn't been a lifetime club man in Scotstown, maybe you could fill us in on that.
Well, no, Pádraig would have played for Castleblaney Fogs. Like, I remember him playing junior B football in Goldstone. But he would have been son of Mick Duffy, who was county board chairman and a great GAA man. And Pádraig then, you know, he would have known Scotstown very well through that rivalry. You know, Blaney and Scotstown, there was also good rivalry between them, you know, and that.
And then he came on ahead then. I remember he was president of the college, not president, but principal in the school inside.
He would have been. Yeah, he went on to become a principal of the school of St McCartan's. But before that, he would have been just as an ordinary teacher. He would have taught all of us that played football for Scotstown and would have known us all very well. And that time he would have been. He was chairman of the county board when Sean McCaig would have been successful with Monaghan in the 80s.
So himself and Sean would have had dealings all the time.
Yeah, and then when Sean went on to become president, he elected Pádraig as chairman of the games administration, that's really where Pádraig Duffy came to prominence, nationally.
Then he settled down in the parish, isn't that right?
Well, he got married and he built a house in the parish, in the edge of the parish and that's really where his involvement in the club started when he moved to the parish.
I think he came in with the juveniles, didn't he?
Yeah, at that time, I think maybe one of his first jobs would have been as maybe juvenile chairman. Like, the club recognised the quality of the man and they got him in as chairman. He brought a new professionalism to the setup we already had.
I think it was Seamus McIlwain talked about him bringing sort of a structure to juvenile affairs and that.
He would have structured their juveniles big time, Of
course, he didn't do that single-handed. He had his...
No, he would have recognised the need for help in that, and probably from his experience in the county board and that, and he was one of the first people to insist that you had to have maybe 3 people over a team, not one person going on their own, and especially the away matches. And he would have brought a lot of good people in, Gene McGinty, Jack McCarville, O'Neill, Benny Maguire, Sean McCaig, boys like that there. Sometimes it's dangerous to mention names,
Sean
you
was
can leave.
working with the juveniles, but
He would have helped. You know, there would have been a lot of people. You know, and the other thing that he would have done, he would have been the first man to, because of the numbers we had in the parish, he would have been the first man to bring a B team on board. You know, it meant that young players were all getting football.
When you say a B team, do you mean now? You're not talking about the junior Bs now?
No. A second juvenile team.
Oh,
you know,
right.
we would have had an A and a B team in juveniles, and he would have been the first to bring that in because it meant that everybody was getting football.
And who'd be in charge of the B then?
Oh, again, you know, with his knowledge and you know, just his. The way he organised things, he would have brought on prominent players in that, and he would have had them involved with the B teams in that, you know.
So there was no name big enough to, or no name too big to play with or to work with juveniles?
Oh, no.
Now you seem to be, you know, putting a sort of an emphasis on the juvenile scene there, Niall.
Oh yeah, well sure. You know, juveniles in this club, you know, you get hundreds of children involved, you know, and the parents then get involved in the club, and it's, you know, it's a great.
Yeah, I've been down at one or two juvenile presentation nights, and they're memorable nights. You know?
Yeah. We had some great juveniles. You know, you can imagine, you know, young juveniles getting medals of players like, you know, Anthony Tohill, James McCartan, Peter Canavan, that, and I can remember one night in the complex, old James McCartan, you know, was there with the son, young James, and they were great nights, them, you know. And
Anthony Tohill, you mentioned there. Now, I do recall looking at a video of Anthony Tohill making a speech, and there was a whole lot of teams, but there was an under-14 team in particular that night. Seemed to be honoured, you know. Was, I don't know, for failure or something?
Well, we would have had a lot of success with Féile in that, you know, we would have won the Féile competitions twice. I think it was in '98 in Ballyshannon, I was at that myself. And then in 2003 in Galway, you know, I think in Ballyshannon, Sean McCaig and Martin McCarville, Paul McCrudden were the management team, and then in Galway you had Michael O'McMahon, Gerard Cherry and Michael Coffell, you know, and that was a big thing to win Féile, you know, at the time. And then at a later stage you had teams that done very well, you know, that Patrick McKenna, I think it was in Mayo, Patrick McKenna, Seamus McIlwain, Gabriel McCaig were involved with them, and even now this year they had great success with the team in 2010 in Derry, and it's only a couple of weeks ago, and you had younger blood that were over the team like McCartan McKenna and Sean McKenna and Gerard Cherry.
So of course these Féile under-14s, it just didn't appear out of nowhere, you know. You're talking about juvenile structures and that.
Oh no, like most county board competitions started under 12 and that, you know, but we run training sessions from them here, and it was the brainchild of Porrick again, in that on a Wednesday evening or a Saturday or that, and you would have a lot of people involved, and maybe up to 100 young children from 6 years of age upwards, you know, and they would get, you know, good treatment and learning good skills and good habits and that, you know, and that was the Porrick Duffy influence again, you know. Porrick always wanted everybody to get involved in games, like, and everybody got a game. He had no prima donnas of that, you know, as such.
I had a good interview with Liam Stewart there earlier, and Liam seemed to, you know, he mentioned particularly the good junior teams that helped to feed his senior team, you know. And so I'm sure you had one or two things to say about the junior team.
Probably
because I know that you were involved at one stage with juniors. Yeah,
he was probably talking about the senior or the B team that Frank McKenna and Seamus McQuillan would have been over. They had great success with that. You know, they'd great success in big tournaments for senior clubs in the north and and Patrick McKenna would have been involved with them, you know. And
then, of course, the juniors, they're really the only ones that have sort of what you might call starred at adult level.
Yes, from 93 on, probably, you haven't had a lot of success, but the junior Bs won the championship in 92 and 93. They actually won the double. Myself and Eamon O'Hara were over them at the time.
Right.
But they went on then in later years, they won one in 2007, but it's mainly the seeds that were successful then in the years from that, from 2002 to that.
I was looking at the scrapbook of Mickey McKenna's